Hi everybody and welcome back to Tales of Wanderlust. I'm Cass. This is Napoleon hanging out on the bed and Jasper is hanging out outside. And if you want to go on a tour of the inside of my base camp and see where I store everything, then stay tuned. So Napoleon is the world's biggest cuddler. So the minute I sat down here, we're now cuddling. I have now lived in the base camp for over 3 years. I carry with me everything I need to work a full-time remote job, to live, to cook all of my food for Jasper and Napoleon. So there's a lot that has to be stored in this little tiny space. The base camp is roughly 96 square feet. It's a 16-foot long travel trailer. So really quite small. I do have a video out specifically on how I store everything in the kitchen and everything I carry. So we're not going to touch on the kitchen today. I will just show you everything else and where I store it. So we're going to start back here in the bed area. When you buy the base camp, it actually comes with really nice cushions, 2 center tables, and then you can fold it down into this king size bed. I say king size because of these curved walls in the back. It really isn't king size. If you put 2 people on here and they're tall, you're gonna start running into issues with those curves. You're gonna have to sleep at angles and get a little creative. For 1 person and 2 animals, this bed is very spacious. So over the years, I thought I was going to convert the bed to the tables every single day, and then I would have a sitting space and a sleeping space. But that did not happen. Instead, I have actually put in a large memory foam mattress, and this is a permanent bed now. There is storage down here underneath this bench, but it is very hard to get to. Basically, I have to taco the mattress, use ratchet straps to pull it back in order to get into the bench. I do have what is called the bed mod, where right about here, that bench is cut and it's split. So I can actually pull up just part of the bed, get into this section of the storage, but that back section is where I really need to ratchet everything up. The back section I use to store things I very rarely use. So back there is all of my backpacking gear. I've gone backpacking once since I've been on the road, so I really don't use it much. Up here is where I keep my computer monitor, my cell phone booster, things that I use more often, but still less frequently than every single day. Then in the bed area, there really aren't any upper cabinets, but instead you have these cargo nets. So these nets, when you are not moving, can hold a pretty good amount of weight. This one over here on the passenger side is where I store all of my computers. So I have my personal MacBook, work laptop, computer stand, mouse pad. There's a book up there for exercises. It's kind of where I throw all of that stuff. I have seen other owners who have had these cargo nets crack under the weight of stuff being stored up there while you're driving. So all of these cargo nets, I do actually completely empty before I tow the base camp away to make sure that nothing ever gets damaged. Then over on this side, this larger cargo net above me, it has the storage area up here and then actually has a zipper section below. This zipper section is where you would slide the 2 back pieces of wood if you were ever pulling this up into the benches and having the tables. Since mine's a permanent bed, this just becomes extra storage. Underneath is where I put things like my football jersey, Napoleon's Santa costume, if you've ever seen that, and little miscellaneous items there. Up top is where I store my extra sheets. I carry 2 extra duvet covers, 1 extra bottom sheet, and 2 extra top blankets for the animals. I also store some toilet paper and paper towel up there for immediate use. I store the big bulk of it in the back of the truck, and then I'll just have 1 or 2 rolls at a time in here. And then I also have plenty of kitchen towels. So they're just lightweight kitchen towels. I probably go through 3 or 4 a week because I'm constantly cleaning. It does get really dirty when you live in a small space and you boondock most of the time. Then in the bedroom area, I have added this shelf and this book holder. So the shelf just sticks on there. I can keep my lotion on it, my phone, different things like that at night. The book holder is actually a Husky tool belt accessory that I wrapped and I hung off a command hook. That does also have to come down whenever I travel, otherwise the books will sway back and forth like that. and it scratches the aluminum. You will also notice that beside the bed, there's kind of an odd look. I have either packing tape or furniture protector along the entire wall around the bed. The reason for that is Jasper sleeps on the bed with me. He lays on his side, and in his sleep, as he's dreaming, his paws start twitching. So if his paws are up anywhere near the aluminum walls, they start scratching, and it can really damage those walls up really quickly. So that furniture tape or the packing tape really helps to protect those. That's it for storage. Then I just have personal things like different pictures and so forth. Those all hang up with command strips. So they're double-sided sticky tape. I don't have to worry about them falling off. They've been there for almost 4 years now. All right, little guy, I gotta let you go. I know. Then underneath the bed, there's actually a really good amount of storage. That really is the cat suite and where I keep all of the animal stuff. The one thing to keep in mind whenever you're building something out down here is the Truma, which is the heater. It does have one of the forced air vents in the back, so you can't block that, otherwise you're going to be losing a lot of heat. It also has the air intake area to keep the Truma nice and cool. So if you block too much down here, your Truma is going to air out. It's not going to work. So while you can build in some storage, I would build it in on the passenger side, and I would leave the driver side more open so the Truma gets the ventilation it needs. For us, the litter box is down here on the left-hand side. It is a very specific litter box, and so it fits between the table legs and the cabinet wall. I can easily slide it in and out. To clean it, there is a carpet underneath, you will notice, because when cats come out of the litter box, they drag litter with them. So the more friction and surface area I can have between the litter box and my personal space, the less litter tracks. So the carpet is very easy to vacuum, to keep clean, and it really helps reduce the amount of litter in my bed. I use a cedar litter now. I used to use your standard clay cat litter, but that stuff tracks everywhere, and I was literally sleeping in tracked litter all the time. It was awful, hated it. The cedar, it smells better, and it doesn't track anywhere near as far. Then I also have the cat and dog bowls. So the cat food always sits out. Napoleon just free feeds. I feed Jasper in his bowl, and then I nest the two of them together, again, just to save space. I do have my 12-volt plugs under here, so the corner area does kind of become a congestion point of cords, things that are charging, different items like that. And then all of the dog and the cat food sits on the driver's side in these waterproof bags. So these bags are 2-ish weeks worth of food. The big bulk bags are in the back of the Tundra, but these are really nice because they keep the smell of the food down, because pet food is actually pretty potent. If you store pet food in these, you will have to replace them every couple years because the oil does start to leak through eventually, but they hold up for a really long time, and you can get them off Amazon for pretty cheap. Jasper also gets glucosamine vitamins, and those stay down there with the food as well. So the one thing about having a permanent bed setup is I have now taken away all the tables in the Basecamp 16, and now I have no place to work. So this lap desk helps me sit in bed. I can use my mouse, sit with my laptop. So that is everything that is shoved underneath the bed. Then circling around, we have the bathroom. I hang my towels outside the bathroom with command hooks. You can hang them inside the bathroom, but to be honest, sometimes the bathroom can get a little stinky, and I want my towels to be fresh and clean when I come out of the shower. So the towels stay outside. In the bathroom, I have the bath mat, which just hangs up here. My wet and dirty washcloths hang here. Over on the side, I keep all my fresh washcloths in this packing cube that just hangs on a hook. And then I actually really don't store much in here other than my Tide pod detergents, extra hair clips, and a razor. And then my shampoo and everything sits in a shelf over there. So not too much. And then the black tank chemical I use and my squeegee sit on the little shelf right by the shower. On the second hook, I used to have one of those big blue nylon laundry bags, but when my sheets walked away, I was washing that bag with the sheets, and that bag walked away at the laundromat as well. So right now my dirty laundry is sitting in plastic bags on the bottom of the shower, but as soon as I get to a place where I can pick up another one of those laundry bags, I will, because it was so much easier. The thing is, I do carry about 4 to 5 weeks weeks worth of clothes with me, that bag could get pretty full pretty quick. So I do carry large garbage bags in the truck as well. So if that bag ever got too full, I would transfer my dirty laundry into a garbage bag, dump that in the back of the truck, and then I can have a smaller bag in here because you need to be able to still get in and out of the bathroom in order to be able to use it. And then every single time you shower, you've got to take that bag in and out as well. Circling over this way, you'll see that I hang my coats, I hang my vests, different things like that. Also on command hooks. On this side of the door is another command hook where I hang Jasper's leash, harness, my baseball hat, things like that. By the door here, there is a little bit of storage. So inside here, I call that my junk drawer. This is where I put all my miscellaneous items. Extra charging cords, batteries, headlamps, owner's manuals, all sorts of stuff gets piled in there. This bat hook is from when I lived in Austin, Texas. I hung it over the hooks that were actually here. That's where I put my keys. Down in the bottom here is where I put all of the animals, hairbrushes, extra leads, Jasper's orange vest for hunting season, different things like that. In here is where I put my entertainment stuff, if you want to say. This is the problem. If you put books in here, they sometimes move and the door gets caught. All right, sometimes it looks beautiful and then I go over a big bump and everything moves and then it takes me a while to get back in there and organize it. But this is where I keep games, books, cards, different things like that. I do have an extra Truma control panel. If you watched my winter video, you know the Truma control panel can short out. So that's where I keep my extra panel just in case, so I can always control my heat. Okay, that is finally closed. The keys do hang down in front of that door, which does make it a little annoying to close at points, but I'm not going in there every single day, so it's just something I live with. Jasper wasn't around for the intro, and now you can see why. It's a really hard life. He's currently basking in the sun. And then on top of here, I usually have Jasper Napoleon's water bowl, but that is outside with Jasper right now. I keep his bone up here, so it's one of the things he does to entertain himself in the RV. And then in the junk drawer, there is actually 2 USB outlets. You can feed the cords through this little cord holder. So I have my Apple Watch charger, always just sitting here so I can charge my watch if I wanted. And then I have a micro USB charger as well. Right now my Waggle is charging. So Waggle is actually sponsoring this video. They are a Verizon cell-enabled pet thermometer. So it tracks the temperature inside the RV at all times, and it sends me immediate alerts if the temperature ever goes above or below a predefined temperature that I put in there. It also has a geofence feature, so I can pin where the trailer is located, and if the trailer ever moves outside of that range, I get an immediate text. So this is one of the tools I use when I leave Jasper and Napoleon alone in the RV in order to keep an eye on them. If you're interested in it, feel free to check out the link in our description below and use the code TAILS50 to get 50% off. And now let's move over into the kitchen. So as I said, I did have a video out on all of the kitchen organization, so I'm not gonna go through today, but I am gonna show you how I store my clothes. Sorry for the backlight. It's really hard having the door open, but I don't close the door and leave Jasper outside because when you're boondocking, there tends to be a lot of off-leash dogs. And I have had off-leash dogs come running up to the RV before and cause issues with Jasper. So one of my rules of thumb is if he's outside, the door is open. That way I can run outside the minute I hear anything. These 2 cupboards here is where I store all of my clothes. When it comes to shoes, those are in a container in the back of the Tundra. Jackets get hung up on that wall hook, or I have extra jackets in a bin in the Tundra as well. So these are just your everyday clothes. These cupboards really are intended to be kitchen storage, but they work great for clothes. The top one you can get as a microwave as an option, but the storage goes all the way back to the corner of the fridge. There's a lot of storage up here. So unless the microwave is really, really important to you, the storage is a lot more useful in my opinion. In the top cupboard here is where I keep all of my underwear, my socks, my extra hats. In the back, my radios, which are great if I'm ever going anywhere with other RVers or friends and you're out of signal and you have 2 different vehicles. Those radios are great and they come in handy. I'm about a week in on my laundry, so you can see how many socks and underwear I still have. I can go about 5 weeks on all of the stuff I have stored in here. Everything is in these storage bins, which really helps keep it organized, and it keeps things from flying around. They're really shoved in there against each other so they don't move. Down in this cupboard below is where I keep all of my shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve, tank tops, my pants, my thermal underwear, my ski pants, everything. I even keep, as I throw it, my GoPro container with my extra batteries, all of that, right on top. So in order to get everything to fit, it takes a lot of precise folding. In the front here, I have 3 stacks of shirts. It starts long sleeve, just regular long sleeve shirts, and then long sleeve zip up shirts that I wear over things. I focus mostly on cooler weather camping. It keeps Jasper more comfortable, and I'm not a huge fan of the heat. So if it's above 65, we're usually trying to find cooler weather. That's why I have a ton of long sleeve shirts. In the back though, I do have tank tops, and I do have a good pile of. In the summer, I do have to do laundry more often. In the winter, I can run off shirts for about 4 to 5 weeks as well. Summer is probably about 2 weeks. I also find these long sleeve shirts I can wear 2-3 days, no problem. You're not sweating, you don't smell as much in the winter. The tank tops, I'm changing every single day because in the heat you sweat and you smell more. Then I do have a couple of pair of shorts. I personally just don't wear shorts. The reasons are usually it's cooler where we are, or I'm taking Jasper on hikes and I don't like my bare legs rubbing against bushes or different things that are out there. I just like the security of pants. So I have a couple of pairs of shorts. They really don't get used much, but they're shoved back in the corner. And then because these cupboards are really long, all of my pants are actually folded into thirds and then shoved in the back corner there. So I have a huge stack of pants. Most of them are black tights, but I have jeans back there, some dress pants, different things, so I can change up and wear different outfits. But if you haven't noticed already from my videos, I am usually wearing black leggings, some sort of black shirt, and a vest over it, which by looking in my closet, you will also see most everything is black. That is by preference and by design. I've always worn black clothing. It's just what I like, but at the same point, it comes out of convenience. When you wear all black, you don't have to worry about matching. So even if I am on week 4.5 and I don't have much laundry left, whatever pants and shirt I have in there are going to work fine together. When I go to the laundromat as well, you can just throw it all in together. You don't have to worry about mixing colors. It really just makes traveling a lot easier. And then outside, there really isn't much storage. So this won't take too long. So the base camp really doesn't have any compartments or storage or anything on the outside. Over here by the dump tank, there is one small cupboard, which I'm not going to touch. That is where my rinse hose is, and also the top of the sewer hose that actually sits into the dump itself. So all of the dirty, nasty stuff gets stored in there. Then over in the propane tank cover, you have a little bit of storage up top. This is just an old box because I needed something to gather stuff. I keep my hitch lock up here, extra water filter, my hose filler, small miscellaneous items like that. I have a couple of LED lamps that run off solar power. These things are great. They have like a little flame in them and they look very realistic. The problem is I've had them outside my RV before and I've had people come running over thinking my RV was on fire. So I use these usually when I camp alone, so people don't think there's something going on. And then I keep my water hose back here. This is the coil water hose from the Airstream Life store. I love the fact that it is coiled. It is so easy to just take out, fill the tank, put back here. You don't have to try to wrap up the big water hose. But it is super slow to fill the tank. It takes me almost twice as long because it's narrower, so there's a slower flow. It's definitely got its pros and cons. I'm not in love with it other than how easy it is to carry around and store in here. If I had a bigger storage area, I would go back to my Camco water hose. Then the rest of the storage really comes down to the back of the truck. So right now you can see that I have a bag of garbage, which I need to throw out. This bag here is my dirty laundry that I pulled out and I threw in here, especially using those smaller bags right now. I dump a lot in here more often. I carry extra water, big bulk things of paper towel and toilet paper. These are the containers where I have my shoes, extra jacket, some tools. Right now Jasper's dog food is running low, but that's his extra dog food right there. And then I've got extra boxes of cat litter back here. I have all of my ski gear, so ski boots, jackets, skis, all of that stuff is in here. Oh, and this big bag here, this is actually where my ski gear is housed. And then when I am not camped, the mat, which is on the ground, Jasper's bed, all of that gets dumped into the back of the truck as well. Truck's locked, but inside the truck, I keep, like, my hat is on the dash. I don't know if you can see it. So I have like a sun hat that sits up on the dash because I have nowhere else to put it. My day pack sits right in the foot area of either the back seat or the passenger seat. So there's a little bit of extra storage up there. So all in all, between the truck and the base camp, that is how I store everything that I carry with me. So if you have any questions or want to see any more details on any of the storage, feel free to comment below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.